Are you ready to become awesomer? Hello everyone, my name is Umar Hamid. I'm your host on the No Limit Selling podcast, where industry leaders share their tips, strategy, and advice on how you can become better, stronger, faster. Just before we get started, I've got a question for you. Do you have a negative voice inside your head? We all do, right? I'm going to help you remove that voice in under 30 days guaranteed. Not only remove it, but transform it. So instead of the voice that sabotages you, there's one that propels you to much higher levels of performance and success. There's a link in the show notes. Click on it to find out more. All right, let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the No Limit Selling podcast. And today I have Julia Block. What's the new name?
Pearson.
Pearson. She just got married less than a year and a half ago. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
And you're the head honcho at Stratos Creative Marketing?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I started Stratos about 4 or 5 years ago as a freelancer, and now it's an agency, and we're a full service agency.
So you went from being like the janitor and the chief architect to chief everything, and then you started hiring people to kind of grow the practice.
Yeah.
So when were you brave enough to go, I'm going to hire someone?
When I was like underwater. So the story goes like I was working at a nonprofit, and it ended up being a really bad situation. And so I realized, okay, I need to do something else. I had owned a business previously, expected to own a business again, but at the time I was single. And for any listeners in the United States, you know, insurance is a mess. And so I figured I would wait until I was married, because then I would get insurance through my husband. But I really couldn't handle my job anymore. So I had 3 months of pay of living expenses saved up. So I told myself I had to get at least one client in 3 months. And so within the first, I want to say 8 to 12 months, I had gotten so many clients that I wasn't actually enjoying my life anymore. And I realized, oh gosh, I quit my job so I could enjoy my life more and travel and do fun things. But I have so much to do that I'm not really doing that. And so I was able to hire a friend to come and join me on the journey. And then that way I freed up my time.
And what was the name of your friend?
My friend's name is Ryan, and she lives in Madison, Wisconsin, where I was living at the time.
Nice. And she's still with the company, I see?
Yeah, she is. And she's one of our best.
And so pretty much it's just one guy and girl power, right? A bunch of women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is only one guy on our team. We're thinking about hiring somebody, and he said we can only hire women from here on out. But that's just a joke. But mostly it's a woman. It is women owned and then women run, minus Bryce.
Agency. So, nice. Everybody has to have a token, and you got a token male, which I appreciate. So let me get this straight.
Well, we love him.
So let me get this straight. You are see someone that's like cute, yes. Mm-hmm. Looks like has the right morals, check. Mm-hmm. Knows how to dance, knows how to sing, no health insurance, get out of here.
Yeah.
Was that the criteria?
Yes. For my husband. At the time, yes, but not any longer, because he's also self-employed, so now we just pay for insurance.
Nice, as it should be. So here's my thought is let's say you and I were dating. Don't tell your husband.
Okay, I won't tell
him. And so we're dating, and after the third date, you start noticing the real me.
Okay.
So I'm showing you my best self, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, maybe this is not what I want. So the reason I bring that up is when we do marketing, oftentimes companies try and pretend to be better than they are, where I think the real power is in who they actually are. So A, do you believe that? And if you do, how do you get clients to embrace that as opposed to pretend to be something they're not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually have a great example of this on the opposite end of the spectrum. Somebody pretending to be much better than they were. And it was very unfortunate. We no longer work with this company, but on the outside, everything looked amazing, and they were teaching some financial courses. But once you got inside of the business, you realized they were teaching financial courses, but they didn't even know how to manage their own money. and they were not practicing what they preached. And then they started asking us to do very questionable marketing tactics. And we were like, peace out. This is not how we do marketing. And so that was a really unfortunate event. And their business was suffering because they were pretending to be something that they were not. On the other hand, we really, with the companies that we love working with and that are great companies, it does take a minute to help them figure out what is their secret sauce or what makes them different, and how do we embrace it in a way that really speaks to their customers. It's a process, but I think that it's worth it, because then that actually becomes a differentiator between you and all of the
Other
other people in the market.
gazillion people doing the same thing. And
Exactly.
so absolutely. And I think that's really important to figure out who you actually are. And sometimes as a marketing agency, I suspect that when you talk to their clients articulate a different reality than the customer themselves, and stuff that the customer themselves discounted like that's no big deal was a big deal to their customers. Can you give me an example of that? And also, why do you think that happens? Why do people disconnect from something that's right in front of their face? Like, we all do it, but
Oh,
I
for
wonder
sure.
why we do it.
For sure. Um, yeah, I think one of the reasons that we do it is because we get so close to like our own product or our own market, or our own business, that we actually forget to see it through the eyes of the customer. And sometimes the customer's experience can actually give us um, the truth about what our biggest asset is.
Hmm.
Recently, this is about us. Recently, I was talking with one of our clients, and she was like, well, I just love working with you guys because you guys are so organized. And I was like, that
Huh?
is the last word I would have used for us. But it made me really happy from a client perspective that, like, that's what she's seeing. Like, does it feel like a crapshoot half the time on the inside? Like, yes, but at least like the client experience
It's
is
different. Yeah.
organized. I think another thing that oftentimes we overlook is that as companies, we're all solving a problem. Like, if you're not solving a problem, like, you really shouldn't be in business. And one of the problems is we have like an external problem, but then we also have an internal
Hmm.
problem. And so if we can identify what the internal problem is, then we are going to also differentiate ourselves from the market. So there might be like, everybody and their mother is a marketing person right now. And they can all say, hey, we do social media. But if I say, hey, we do social media for our clients because they want more time back, like, then suddenly I'm solving an external problem. Like, we need social media and they need time, which solves like an internal problem of stress. And
No,
so
absolutely.
I think that that's another thing that your clients can actually start telling you, hey, this is like the feeling that you're giving me, or that you're empowering me with, or that you're solving for me. And that'll also differentiate you.
And I think capturing all for several reasons. Number one, capturing those stories is good folklore for the company itself,
Mm-hmm.
because most companies have a bunch of bullshit values on the wall, and they are bullshit, but
Yeah.
even if they're legit, they're meaningless
Mm-hmm.
words. And where they come to life is, one of our values is going above and beyond for our customers. Let me tell you about ABC. Well, let me tell you about
Mm-hmm.
one of those stories.
Yeah.
It was a restaurant, and this waiter, he was serving this woman and her granddaughter. They would come in every Wednesday and have lunch together.
Mm-hmm.
And he overheard their conversation that next Wednesday, the granddaughter was going out of town and grandma couldn't make it in. And the waiter says, would you like me to pick you up and bring you to the restaurant?
Oh, that's sweet.
So the waiter
Mm-hmm.
actually stopped his shift, went to pick her up, brought her in on the Wednesday. That's a kick-ass amazing story, A, because it's
Mm-hmm.
true, and because it breathes life into we go above and beyond. So a new
Mm-hmm.
employee coming in goes, okay, this is not empty words. This is real. And
Mm-hmm.
the more of those you collect, the stronger your culture is. But more importantly, when you tell that story to potential customers, they kind of go, okay, because everybody and their uncle tells me that they do social media, but
Mm-hmm.
we do social media that generates leads, that grows
Mm-hmm.
your business. That's a really
Mm-hmm.
good trick.
For sure. I think, and even what I love about that story is that by collecting those stories, you're almost having other people brag about your business without you bragging about yourself. Like nobody loves, nobody enjoys talking with people who only talk about themselves. So businesses also need to take heed. Don't just talk about how great you are. Have other people talk about how great you are. So reviews, testimonials, stories like that are in essence saying, hey, here's a real life story, like you said, that has meat on it. But then also, this is how they're bragging about you without you bragging about yourself.
Absolutely. And I think it's important for two reasons. One, we've got two audiences. One is the external audience, and the other one is our employees' internal audience. And we can't ignore one for the other.
Oh, for sure.
And so, but sometimes the message is different on the external versus the internal. And sometimes the internal battle cry is different than the external one. So the world knows us as XYZ, but internally it's like whatever it happens to be. And so one of the things that really fascinates me is how to build kick-ass amazing leaders. So your job as the leader of your agency, there's only three components to it. One, and by the way, this is world according to Umar. One is to have a kick-ass amazing vision that inspires other people to go on the journey. Go, oh my God, I'd take a bullet for that. The second thing is building a kick-ass amazing culture where people go, oh my God, I can't see myself working anywhere else. And number three, how do you grow the value of this organization? And when you're a leader and you don't have a strong culture, then you're putting out fires all the time and you don't have the ability to do those three things. Because I'm not sure what you think your time's worth, but I suspect your time is worth $1,000 an hour. And when you're doing BS stuff in your company that isn't vision, culture, and growth, that you're stealing from your company. Thoughts on that?
Absolutely. I think, or I'm stealing from my family too. Like where
even worse. That's like, stab, guilt.
Yeah, we have a new baby in our house. And so I'm like very protective about my time now. But I think that that's exactly true. One of my proudest moments was we had a few months ago, we had some massive client shifts and we had to infuse the business with a little bit of cash. And one of my employees told me, she was like, if I could, I would invest because I believe in what we're doing. And
nice.
That was one of my proudest moments where I like realized, okay, these people are along for the ride. Like it's no longer this Julia show of like, I want, and it never really was, but especially as a freelancer, it felt like, oh, this is what I'm doing for myself. But now it's a, Stratos is for all of us. And it's serving both our clients, but then it's also serving our team. We have 4 people who make full-time incomes off of us. We have 3 who do part-time work. And those people thrive because Stratos, our organization, thrives, and Stratos thrives because they do. And so it's a very reciprocal relationship now.
By the way, you were saying you needed some cash infusion. How's your husband doing with one kidney?
He's doing okay.
Good. He's a trooper. Beat for the organization.
He'll do anything for... You're saying he'll take a bullet. He would take a bullet for us, so don't worry.
Nice. So as you move forward, I look for sayings that are like universal, and any culture in the world has it. One of the phrases is, the cobbler's son has no shoes.
Ooh, I love that one.
And so you run a marketing agency. And how often do you look at your own marketing and your own look and feel? Because I suspect a lot of times it's so easy to help our customers become awesome. How do you stay true to make sure you guys are doing the same thing?
Umar, literally that has been going through my mind since year one. Because here I was selling social media to people, I was selling email, I was selling lead generation, and then I was looking at my own business and saying, we're doing none of those things. And I really felt very honestly convicted at one point because I was like, who am I to be selling people this if I'm not actually practicing what I preach?
I'm not drinking my own Kool-Aid.
Exactly. And so granted, it took actually bringing my friend Ryan on before we could do that, because suddenly because there was two of us, I could then start looking at our own things and how to start doing that. But I will say one of my favorite stories is that I did this random event when we were trying to start an email list. I did a speaking engagement for a nonprofit organization, and there was a bunch of other nonprofits in the room. I was like, this is practice. I don't expect any clients to come out of this, but I'll just pass my little sign up sheet around and have people sign up for our email. And people did. It took 6 months, and all of a sudden I got this email out of the woodwork, and this woman named Tammy said, hey, I saw you present. Can you do this job for us? And so suddenly I was actually seeing the fruit of the practice. And so that was really great. First as confirmation, but then I also had another testimonial of my own story to say, hey, clients, it worked for me. It will work for you. And so it's taken a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of recalibration, but it's something that I really believe in, is that if you are trying to hire a marketing company, if they're not doing what they're telling you to do, then you should question them on why. And maybe they have good reason. Like all marketing companies
they don't have a good reason. But there is an adage that comes into play here. You only teach what you need to learn.
Okay. Yeah. No, I agree. And I think that that's one of the things I really believe, especially in marketing companies, and I work with and mentor a lot of other marketing agencies, like you have to practice what you preach because your clients are watching. So
I think there's 3 words that are really critical to life. One is focus. Mm-hmm. 2 is integrity. Mm-hmm. But to have integrity, you need to know who you are. Mm-hmm. And the 3rd one is intention. What is your intention for connecting with the world? And I think those 3 can really keep you on the right path. Mm-hmm. No matter what you're doing, whether you're a mom or head of an agency or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So if there was a magic wand, and I happen to have one here, ta-da!
I love it.
And what ability would you like to be a better leader, or what ability would you like me to remove that would allow you to be like a better leader for your organization?
I think I have 2. Is that okay?
Of course.
First is like very unrealistic, but it's a magic wand. So I would love some more time, and I think everybody would. I would be surprised if it wasn't in most people's top 5, because right now I'm a new mom and also a CEO of an organization, and I could use some extra time because I have a ton of creative energy, but no creative time.
Yeah. Of course, more time would be excellent.
Yes. But that brings me to number 2, because realistically, what I would love to have is more delegation powers, because there's so often that I decide, oh, I can do it, or I'll volunteer for things. And for example, this morning I was working on a project, and the whole time I was like, why did I volunteer to do this? Like somebody else and the organization could have done it, and they could have done a much better job. But I volunteered. And how silly, because like we were talking before, my time, whatever it is worth, I could be doing things that lead to the growth, the vision, and I can't remember your 3rd one, but the
intention.
I could be doing those things rather than this project that somebody else could be doing.
So here's what's going on. So I'll ask you a follow-up question.
Oh dear. Okay.
Is this a theme for you where you'll go in and rescue?
Oh, I think my team would probably say yes.
So here's why it's happening, because intellectually you know what you should be doing, but underneath every single behavior that counts is a belief in our unconscious that controls it. And this is the strongest force in the universe. This is like the black hole of gravity, and it locks that behavior in place. The only problem is the belief is out of our awareness. No matter how hard we try, we can't change it, even though we know better. And so what we need to do is to go in at the level of belief and change that belief. And once we change that belief, it allows you to be free, and it allows you to work at a higher level, because that's what you need to get to the next level of growth for your organization. Is your highest good is making sure only quality goes out of your agency, and you inspire your people that you lead to just, because what's really interesting is they rely on you to, your trust in them gives them trust in themselves. And that's the magic of leadership, is that you can say, don't worry about your fears. Go on a journey with me. Let's go do something amazing.
Yeah. That's so interesting. That is probably, well, I know it's accurate. I just would like to say it's not. But I think it is. And because I do often jump in because I'm like, oh, everybody's stressed out. Like I can relieve some of this stress, and instead of really focusing like what they actually need me for.
So last couple of questions for you.
Yeah.
This is going to be the toughest. No, it's going to be the easiest. You ready?
Oh gosh. Okay.
What makes you happy?
Ooh. That right now, my family. I know that's like a very generic, but like I've mentioned, we have a 4-month-old, and seeing her face light up is just even on like the craziest day.
So pause right there, right now. Okay. Take a deep breath in, let it out slowly. And I want you to go back to sometime today, yesterday, last weekend, whatever, a particular moment. Is it a daughter?
Yeah.
Think of a moment where your daughter's face lit up, a specific moment. And I want you to close your eyes for a minute and go back to that moment and just see that, her smile, and just the thoughts that were going in your mind. And where in your body do you feel that?
I would say I feel it in my chest.
So I want you to take a hand and imagine you have a volume knob and figure out which way turns that feeling up, and go ahead and turn it up. So it just fills your chest and your heart, and it fills your entire body and your head and your legs, and you're just glowing with that. And that is why you do what you do, for that magic. And I just wanted to share with you that even though that's an amazingly powerful experience, you can make it freaking better. And that's the control we have on ourselves. And here's the final question.
All right.
What is one mind hack or one trick you use to be more productive, more efficient, sexier, healthier, sleep better? What's the one thing you want to share with the world that they could use today to make their lives better?
Oh, goodness. I think one of my favorite things is to remind myself that every habit is like a muscle that's being exercised. And it's really just like a mindset shift of changing from, hey, this is hard, to, hey, I'm exercising that muscle. And every time I do this, it'll get a little bit easier.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for being on the show. And was there a question I should have asked you that I didn't ask you? You get the last word.
Oh my gosh. No, this was excellent. I feel like I actually got like free coaching. So that's what I'm like walking away with. So thank you so much, Umar.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for being on the show.
Of course.
If you enjoyed this episode, please go to iTunes and leave a 5-star rating. And if you're looking for more tools, go to my website at nolimitselling.com. I've got a free mind training course there that's going to teach you some insights from the world of neuro-linguistic programming, and that is the fastest way to get better results.